people around the world have heard of its name, and many have already tasted it. Its traditional smoky flavor can be enjoyed in many different cocktails, simple mixed drinks, or, better yet, really cold and straight. Welcome to Feedback Learnex. My name is Juan Carlos, and today we're going to talk about tequila. Let's go! Tequila is one of the most emblematic drinks in Mexico, and not only because it is the best-selling, the most recognized, and one of the oldest in the country. This drink is more of a tradition with the legends and anecdotes associated with it. Curious fact, tequila is a mestizo drink, inheriting on one hand the indigenous tradition of extracting nectar from the agave, and on the other, the method of distillation and fermentation that came from Spain after the conquest. The mythological origin, in this case of maguey and pulque, tells the myth that Mayahuel, the goddess related to earth, fertility, and food, was a beautiful young woman who lived secluded in heaven with her grandmother, who forbade her leave under the threat of killing her if she disobeyed. Meanwhile, the gods took pity on seeing men sad with nothing to cheer their hearts. It was then that Quetzalcoatl remembered Mayahuel, because she possessed a magical plant that would bring joy to men. Mayahuel decided to escape with Quetzalcoatl, and in her flight, she fell in love with him. Upon reaching Earth, the lovers were transformed into a tree with 2 branches. However, her grandmother soon noticed the absence of Mayahuel, so accompanied by the other goddesses of darkness, they descended to Earth to look for the couple. It was at that moment that the branches broke in two, and the old woman recognized her granddaughter, whom she took and broke into pieces, which she then gave to each of the other goddesses to devour and leave after her. The branch of Quetzalcoatl remained intact. When the god returned to his true form of the wind, he gathered the bones of his beloved and then buried them. From this came the maguey, from whose trunk, when scraped, flows a sweet liquid, which when fermented becomes pulque, which awakens the joy of men. Tequila is a distillate made in the tequila region, although later, when the denomination of origin was recognized, production was extended to 9 states of the Republic. The drink is produced from the distillation of the fermented must, obtained from the heart of the blue agave, with a process very similar to that of mezcal, which is why they are considered sister drinks. It is believed that its origin dates back to the 16th century, when the must of the agave began to be distilled, calling the resulting drink mezcal. It was until then, given the volume that its production reached and how much the government was in need of money, that it chose, in the middle of the 17th century, to authorize it and collect the corresponding tax. Spanish liquors began to have greater difficulties in reaching Mexico, which gave tequila manufacturers an opportunity to increase their sales in Guadalajara itself and begin marketing them in Mexico City and throughout the center of the country. Tequila comes from the Nahuatl tequit, which means work or trade, and tlan, which means place. So put together, tequila means place of workers. There were some events such as the Mexican Revolution and its desire to create a national identity, that the growth of the film industry that popularized what was previously considered a drink for muleteers and for the lower classes. The cinema, like many songs then in vogue, had a lot to do with the growing fame of the drink. It also helped that popular saying had turned tequila into the best medicine against an epidemic of Spanish influenza, which hit northern Mexico around 1930, and that, to meet demand, small bottles made in the industrious city of Monterrey instead of having to distribute bulk merchandise in uncomfortable barrels. For one reason or another, tequila is now considered the quintessential Mexican alcoholic beverage, just as mariachis and charros abroad are the archetype of all Mexican music and of all of us who live in this country. In fact, now the mariachi dress as a charro and cannot conceive of drinking anything other than tequila. There is an International Tequila Day on July 24th. Since 2006, a date that has been chosen because that day, UNESCO declared the agave landscape as World Heritage. Since 2018, the National Chamber of the Tequila Industry has decreed that the National Tequila Day be celebrated on the third Saturday of March. In 2006, UNESCO declared the agave landscape as a World Heritage Site. The designation of origin for tequila includes 181 municipalities in 5 states, which are Jalisco, Nayarit, Guanajuato, Tamaulipas, and Michoacán. If you haven't had the chance to enjoy good tequila, you don't know what you're missing. When you do, just remember this phrase: los besos, como el tequila, se piden dobles. My name is Juan Carlos, this was Feedback Learnex, and if you're going to have some tequila, remember to invite me. See you next week.